Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be tackling a topic that I think a lot of people are curious about, but not a lot of people talk about, and that is porn addiction. So we're going deep into this book called Breaking Free, Overcoming Porn Addiction and Reclaiming Your Life. And we're going to give you a clear, science-backed look at this really complex issue.
Yeah, it's something that's surrounded by a lot of misinformation and shame. And so, I think it's really important to approach this topic with compassion and a desire to understand the science behind it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's our mission here. We're not here to judge anybody. We're here to give you knowledge and strategies. So first things first, how do we even define porn addiction? Where's the line between casual viewing and, something more serious?
Well, the book actually uses a really powerful analogy. It compares it to driving a car. So when you're in control, you're the one behind the wheel making conscious decisions. But with addiction, it's like the car is driving you, taking you places you don't want to go, even when you know it's dangerous. That feeling of being powerless to stop even when you want to, that's a key indicator of addiction.
So it's not just about the amount you watch, but the feeling of control or lack thereof.
Exactly. And to really understand why this loss of control happens, we need to look at what's happening in the brain. The book really delves into how porn can actually rewire the brain's reward system.
Oh, this is where it gets really fascinating for me. I love talking about brain chemistry. So tell me more about that rewiring.
Okay, so imagine every time you view stimulating content, your brain releases dopamine, that feel-good neurotransmitter. Initially, it's a rush, it's a reward, but over time, your brain gets used to this flood of dopamine and needs more and more intense content to reach that same level of excitement.
It's like developing a tolerance, right? You need a stronger dose each time.
Exactly, and here's where it gets tricky. The book points out that this constant dopamine surge actually starts to overshadow the pleasure you get from everyday things. Real-life connections, hobbies, even sex with a partner, it just can't compete with the intensity of that artificial dopamine hit.
So it's not just about the porn itself, it's changing how your brain experiences pleasure in general. No wonder it becomes so hard to break free.
Yeah, it's like your brain is being hijacked by this intense reward system, and breaking free from that takes a lot of effort and understanding. Speaking of which, what are some signs that someone might be crossing that line from casual viewing into problematic use?
Yeah, what should our listeners be looking out for in their own lives or, maybe in the lives of people that they care about?
Well, the book outlines a few key red flags. Do you find yourself needing to watch more and more to get the same effect? Are you neglecting responsibilities, work relationships, your own well-being to spend more time with porn?
That's a good point. I also think about the emotional side of things. Have you ever tried to cut back or stop but felt like you just couldn't? Or maybe you were feeling increasingly guilty or ashamed after watching.
Those are all important signs, and it's crucial to remember that noticing these things isn't about self-judgment. It's about taking that first step toward understanding and regaining control.
Absolutely. Recognizing there might be an issue is actually a sign of strength. Okay, so we've defined porn addiction and talked about how it affects the brain. Now I think it's time to get into the nitty-gritty of how this can impact your life beyond the screen.
Yeah, and this is where things get really complicated. The book really emphasizes that it's not just a private matter. The consequences